Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to use this workflow and what it's all about. So the workflow is a collection of 8 groups. You can see all of them in one picture here. Each group does a unique function. So we have controlnet, and they're all color-coded and labeled at the top. IP adapter, generate, which is text to image, background for background work, redraw, which is image to image, in painting, face fix if you want to face detailer or face swap, and then upscale. And this includes a save function here, so you can save the image. But there are bookmarks for each of the groups. So if I press my 1 key, I will move to the first bookmark, and there are 8, so there are 8 bookmarks in total. I'll just scan through them one by one so you can take a look. So first of all, I was going to do a test to deplete my VRAM and show you what that looks like and how to get around it, but I think they changed something in ComfyUI. So if I run it here, it'll run through the entire graph from left to right, and it doesn't seem like it's going to run out of VRAM, but I'll still go over what you should do if that happens to be the case. I just have a different model loaded in every one of these groups to try to load up my VRAM as much as possible and make it as hard on my GPU so that we can get that. The error is called allocation on device, and that just basically means you ran out of VRAM. So over here you can see it's in painting step, and then it moves automatically from left to right, so it'll just pass whatever it outputs over here to the next group, and then that group will start running automatically. And the real advantage with this workflow is that you can toggle these groups off and on using this group toggle node. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it does work. So allocation on device means that ran out of memory. So I believe it ran out of memory on the face fix group. So what we can do is, the last group that was active was in paint, so we will just deactivate these. Yeah, see, I see it now. Okay, it was kind of hard to see, but on the face mask it ran out of memory. So we'll deactivate those, and then what we'll do is, see this seed right here? We're going to reuse that seed, and we're going to make sure that we reuse the seed in every previous group too. So on the background and the generate group, we want to reuse that seed. And then I'm going to come back here to where it stopped, and I'm going to activate this group. And since we're starting a new command, it's going to keep going. So it's going to, so even though I had to load up all of those models in the previous groups to get to this point, if we split it up into multiple different commands, it'll keep going. And then if I activate the upscale group, it can continue on with the upscaling. So that way we can get around VRAM limitations. So as long as you can run one of these groups in isolation, you can run all of them. And that's the real advantage with splitting them up. So I'm not gonna finish this here. We don't need to do that. I think I got the point across. But one of the other functions that this workflow has is, let's say that I wanted to send this image to the beginning. So it has a loop functionality. So I'm going to go to the generate group, and this loop image here can replace the output of this group. So instead of starting with this image, we could instead tell it to use the loop image. So I'm going to go to the face fix group. I'm going to activate this toggle, and I am going to ensure that my seed, we use the seed, did we not? Yes, right here. Okay, the seed is the same. I'm just going to run that. And what that has done now is it's sent this image to the generate group. So I'm going to turn this toggle off. I'm going to deactivate all of the other groups other than generate. And then let's say that I want to use this image as the starting image now. So I'm going to go to this toggle here. I'm going to select 2 for enable. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow that image to be the output instead of the previous one. So let me just make sure I have everything set up here correctly. Right, so okay, we can go ahead and run it, and you'll see how it mutes the case sampler first. It shows you which image is the one that's being used. That's the one we asked it to loop. And then it sends that image forward. So you can do this indefinitely. You can do this as many times as you'd like from any of these groups. And now we've just outpainted on that image that we got looped there. So that covers the loop function. As long as these toggles are active, it will continually send the output of the group back to this loop image here. So you can think of it like a memory slot, like it only has one memory. And I could probably expand this to have multiple memory slots, but maybe in a later version of the workflow, I can see about doing that. But I also do want to cover this muting function here. Yeah, why not? We could do that right now. So I have these template workflows. Switch, it's the switch workflow. And I have these in the GitHub repo. And these will show you what function, how the function works. So I have this switch function, which operates on by using impact pack, Python Goss's custom scripts, and RG3's AnySwitch right here. So you can see how this is set up. And if I switch the function to 2 and run it, it'll mute the case sampler and the Veda code, because these are nodes that will stop your workflow if they detect missing inputs. So if you try switching to another function, they'll actually throw an error and they won't allow you to finish. So that is going to be in the GitHub repo. You can take a look at that. And my intention with including these template workflows, so this is the pause, this is what I showed you with the different groups and how you can toggle them on and off. My intention is that people take these and incorporate them into their own workflows and build cooler stuff. So this is the loop function, this is the sender and receiver. So this one just uses the impact pack. And the switch, the pause, of course, just uses RG3's nodes. Anyway, coming back to the main workflow, there is a bug with the case samplers. Since these are efficient case samplers from the efficiency nodes pack, they do have a weird interaction with control nets. So if let's see here, if I change some value of the control net, let me turn off the other groups here, and let me just run this to get it all set up. I think it's reloading the model. I'm just going to run it once with these control net settings. And then if I change the strength, let's say, to 0.31, and then I try running it, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything. And that's a bug between efficiency nodes and control net. So no matter how many times I run it, it's not going to do anything. So for that, and for other use cases, I included this refresh group. And if you toggle it between 1 and 2, it'll basically force the group to run again. So if I toggle it to 2, it'll power through and it'll get the job done. So that way you can feel free to use the control net with these case samplers. But I really like these case samplers because they have this this switch here to move back and forth between a random seed and the previous seed. And the default case samplers, and in fact I don't think any other case sampler has this function, or at least doesn't have this function implemented as elegantly as this one does. So I really wish that they would update the repo and get this bug resolved. But either way, let's see, I covered switches, refresh, specialized workflows. Okay. So in the repo, I also included specialized workflows. So these are just the same workflows as in the main workflow, except they're isolated and they just do, only what the group is meant to do and nothing else. So if I zoom out here, you can see this is just the inpaint group by itself. So in case you wanted to download a workflow for just inpainting, you could do that. And all 6 of the groups are included because the generate and redraw groups here use the IP adapter and controlnet groups. So those are just combined into both of them. And so then I want to cover exploded workflows. So I have also included in the repo these workflows that show you the groups, again the same groups, but the nodes are maximized, labeled with their original labels, and the reroutes are organized to show you how everything connects together. So in case you wanted to, I don't know, look through and see how all the logic works out, and study it for your own uses, you could do that. So all 6 of those are included, as well as the main workflow. There's a giant exploded main workflow included in the repo as well on GitHub. And I'll probably upload these to Google Drive too, in case you want to get them from there and don't want to bother going to GitHub or Civet. So I covered all of that, and that's most of everything. I guess I'll just tie up some loose ends. There are help nodes in every group except for IP adapter, but they tell you how to use the group. They'll tell you, they'll cover errors, cover functionality, cover most things. I tried to include most things. And let's toggle on everything here, zoom out. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about how to use every particular group, but I did include video tutorials in this node here, so you could go and learn more about them. And I tried to pick ones that I personally found helpful and weren't too long, so you can figure out how to use those there. There are also resources to download models, like various auxiliary models that don't necessarily generate anything, but they kind of facilitate the functionality. So like segmentation models, detection models, controlnet models, and so on and so forth. And those are scattered around the internet, so sometimes they'll go, I hope they don't go down, but by the time I upload this. I also included errors, so I covered kind of like mute conflicts. So yeah, I guess that's one thing worth covering is if I switch the select two. Right, so if I switch this K-sampler off, and then you'll see if I turn this group off and then I turn it on again, it will unmute the K-sampler, which it's not supposed to do. So this will be what I call a mute conflict, and it'll probably throw an error if I unmute the background and I try to run the workflow. Yeah, there we go. So not subscriptable. So in this case, you would use the refresh toggle and then run it, and then it will remute the case sampler. So the refresh toggle is good for more than one thing. And you can see down here the VE decode node is also muted. But yeah, I minimized a lot of the nodes that you don't need necessarily, or don't have options or settings or toggles or anything, so I just tried to tuck them all away. But I also tried to make everything visible so that like if something minimized is running, you can see it running. And yeah, so I think that's most of it. And to use these are impact switches, you can see there. So to use these, you would just select the number that you want, and then you can do, in this one, you can do background removal, outpainting. I don't want to cover all the functions like I said, but yeah, so this has been an overview of the workflow. Hope you find it useful. I hope it teaches you something, or you get some value out of it. And that's all for now. I might do more in-depth. I don't know if I'm going to do more in-depth tutorials or continue this series if I release another version, like version 4 or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right. Have a good day, everybody.